In this video, we'll be covering the movement shrimp squat. We'll look at how to do it really well, why to do a shrimp squat and say not a pistol squat, or why it's a good alternative. And we'll also look at training recommendations, how many sets, reps, what is a good way to use a shrimp squat in your training program. So first things first, I guess, who is this for? Well, it's for anyone who wants to develop strong, good, stable legs and do it with enough mobility. In other words, if you don't want to get super strong but restricted, if you want to get strong and have control of standing on one leg, have a good fold in your hip, make sure that you've got good ankle ranges, then the shrimp squat is a good, challenging movement for you to practice. What exactly is the shrimp squat? You can check out the videos there. We've got 3 really important elements that are part of any squat, which is a good fold in the ankle, a good fold in the knee, and a good fold in the hip. It's not just that. Standing on one leg, the knee can tend to shift left and right, and our foot can tend to collapse. So the shrimp squat is a one-legged squat with one foot behind your hip, holding it onto it, and then trying to reach down with that free-floating knee all the way to the ground. Doing all of that without falling over, meaning that your foot is stable, the knee doesn't wobble like crazy, and we have a nice and solid motion. When we ask why shrimp squats, we're really also asking why not pistol squats. So the beauty about the shrimp squat is usually it's quite hard to do if you don't have mobility requirements. You see with a pistol squat instead, where your foot is reaching out in front, sometimes people hold their own foot. It's really easy to completely arch the lower back and reach forward so that you're in a very hunched over position. The difficulty with that is whenever do you want to train a compromised position? You don't want to lift a heavy weight in a position like the pistol squat. So why train the pistol squat in a position like that? That being said, if you can do a full pistol squat with good support, good integrity off the spine, then go ahead, go crush it. Alternatively, you could try a pistol squat with a wedge under your heel, that's still good, but I would say just go for the shrimp squat instead. It's more challenging and at the same time you'll get better gains, at least that's my experience from it. I can recommend the shrimp squat personally because without doing pretty much any weight training for the better part of a year, I started to do a bit of weight training and I went to a 1.7-ish times kg max squat, meaning I squatted 135 kgs after like 3 weeks of training without any strength work prior to that. That being said, I did practice quite a bit of single leg squats, and in parkour I'm practicing jumping as well, so for sure that will have contributed. But if you want to get similar results, well, it means doing the shrimp squat well, not just kind of doing it, it means really owning the movement. So then we're getting to how to do the shrimp squat well, execution. First things first, in any kind of single leg work, meaning unilateral, one side is working, not both sides at the same time, we have to make sure that our foot placement is good. How to set up the foot nice and well. First, place your feet on the ground with a ball of foot being firmly planted, then rotate the heel medially, meaning towards your center line. It will also feel like your knee is turning outwards slightly. That way you can see whether or not you have a good arch of the foot being set up well onto the ground. Now that you have a good foot position, make sure you keep it so that when you're in the squat, when you're lowering, when you're standing, the foot doesn't wobble too much. Now that you've got the foot fixed, make sure that the knee doesn't travel in towards your center line. A very common mistake is once you get low enough in the squat is that the knee comes in. I see a lot of people doing that in their pistol squat and other one-legged work. That is a position that generally you don't want to have, because with useful movement, we want to practice one area and for it to translate in the other. That means, have you ever seen a jump where both feet collapse in? Probably not, which means we want to get strong enough for our knees to stay outside of the center line. That's going to be helpful. Next thing, what about lowering? Instead of dropping to the ground, we're trying to reach to the ground gently until the knee touches the floor, and then we want to lift up without using too much rocking movement. That way you know you've got full control of the full range. So how do we regress the exercise? There are a couple of different versions you can play. The first one is probably the easiest one, which means you just stack up yoga blocks and you have your knee, instead of going all the way to the ground, to a height that you preset. Progress it, make it harder by stacking the blocks lower and lower, where your have to touch lower to the ground each time. And another way of progressing, if you don't have yoga blocks, easy. Just use your back foot as a slight assist, only as much as you need to. That is cool because you can control it yourself, but you also have to be really honest with yourself. Because it can feel like you're doing it all by yourself, all on that single leg. But if the back leg is supporting too much, the motion is not going to be as good. You're not that challenged. So challenge yourself by just using your back foot, just that big toe, a little bit, just as much as you need to. Then I recommend go as low as you can every time, because it will strengthen that range. So in other words, if you only do half the range, you're not going to challenge your ankle to further dorsiflex or where you need to further reach over. So try to go as low as you can each time. The foot assist is good for that. Another assist that you could use is hold the weight out with your free hand in front of you, because that can help shift your center of mass further forward, which will make it a bit easier for you to stay upright during the motion. So give that a try if you haven't done a successful shrimp squat yet. Adding weight to the shrimp squat is only for those of you who are already strong but may be lacking some mobility. Obviously, holding on to weight makes it heavier, so if you struggle coming up, try not to make it any heavier. On the other hand, if you feel like you're on the bottom of the motion and somehow you can't get any lower, then you can help train your ankle range by holding a weight in front that helps you to pull you more into dorsiflexion. So give that a try if that's you. Reps and sets. What's a good recommendation? I would say go for at least 5 repetitions of whichever skill level difficulty you choose. If you can't do 5, chances are it's going to be a bit too hard for you right now. So find an easier version and then go for 5 to 10 reps or so. I would recommend for going at least for 3 sets. That way you get a bunch of workload in and you will feel stronger. Again, don't let your quality diminish as you do more reps. Try to stick with good quality. If it gets too hard, really nice, just regress, make the skill a little bit easier for yourself, and then continue the work. You can easily use this if you have, say, a body weight workout and you do some calisthenic style skills, where you do some push-ups, some pull-ups, maybe handstands as well. You can use this as a sort of true superset. Say you're doing some pushing strength. Instead of doing pulling, you can recover doing your single leg work. That way you save some time in the workout and you still get good work in. In movement, remember, form follows function. We want to do the things that are useful. We don't want to have arbitrary gains that really inhibit our ability to move well. So in other words, getting strong without being mobile is not what we're looking for. We want to be strong, we want to be mobile, we want to be well coordinated. That's what our videos are for. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. We'll keep updating, making different videos of these kinds. Also check out our Instagram at SharedSpace Movement, where we upload just clean, plain videos of movement very regularly. So there you don't get the full load of words that I'm splitting out here. Instead, you get very short trailers or teasers for other videos that you can then check later out when you have more time. See you soon and move well.